we're going to be at the NEC in Birmingham on Friday the 10th of April attending the Gadget Show, so you can come and meet us. If you are interested, you can check the video description for more information about the event and also ticket sales. If you use the discount code Hannah, you get 10% off. We should be doing signings from 2 p.m, and then there's a special after hours theatre show at 5 p.m. We're going to be playing games and you could win some prizes, so I'll maybe see you there. And now back to the main video. Hello, so it's Monday again and it's time for another video. I hope you guys all had a fun weekend. I did a bit of cycling. I got a new bike. I decided if I was going to wreck a bike, or at least scuff the paintwork and wreck my knee, that I was going to do it on my own bike versus the hire bike. So I finally bought a bike after about 6 months, I think, which was the sort of plan originally. I thought if I'm going to do this regularly, I will buy a bike, but I want to make sure I manage to get through the winter months. If I can get through the winter months of cycling, which are arguably the worst because of rain, mud, wind, and I'm still enjoying it and I still want to do it, then I'll buy a bike. So I have bought a bike, and quite nice. I like it. I also did a bit of Civ this weekend. A little bit of a spoiler. I don't know when it will be out, but I played appallingly. So that's just a clue of how badly it went. I'm not going to say which Civ, but let's just say the Civ that I was given had possibly the worst start that you can give it. And then I just was appalling for the rest of it. So apologies to anyone in advance, especially Bristol, because Bristol will grade me as dreadful for the whole thing. So yeah, just a heads up to that. You'll notice as well behind me there's still a load of boxes. That's because I am getting through Advent slowly. I'm getting there. It's taking ages, just because there's so much. I estimated about 250 boxes and letters. I think it's close to 350. So it's going well, but it is taking a while. I'm also moving house this weekend, so it's sort of a little bit of a mess because I've got things in the office that I've ordered to the office, because I'm gonna pick some stuff up from here anyway, because I want to take some of my swag home. Not Samuel's. I don't even know. I'm trying to go this way. So up here, the assassin stuff, I might take some of that home. I'll probably take some of the fan art home, because I'm moving into an unfurnished flat, so it'd be nice to have some wall decorations, so I could have Nazi and Hannah, the artwork that's on the store. If you haven't seen that, I'm also wearing the Evicted t-shirt from the store, which I think is still there, store.yogscast.com if you want to get it. But yeah, so I'll take a few things home. But it does mean my office is filled with even more boxes currently whilst I store them, and also weird things like some pillows, a kettle, some tiny measuring spoons, some really nice but quite heavy dinnerware, a Kenyan coffee maker, which is basically a cafetiere. Yeah, it's a cafetiere. So, sorry, why is it a Kenyan coffee maker when it's... Oh, it's a French press. I see, Bodum. I see. We've gone American, have we? We've now called it a French press, because for some people, they can't say cafetiere. So yeah, it's a little bit crowded in here, more than usual. You can't see what's going on, off camera there. But it should be a little bit better next week. It might slowly decrease after that. It's one of these things. It's a transitional phase and I need to sort of do it, and it might take a little while. So just an apology in advance if videos become a little bit slower. I don't think they will. I don't think it will impact on the videos at all. But I just, keep you apprised of that and let you guys know in advance that it could happen. I'm still going to have the office, so I can still come to the office and do work. It's just whether awkward things, when you move in, it's we've got to get the internet installed. Someone has to come and look at your internet for you, because apparently you plugging a modem in is not how it works. Despite the fact that is how it works. Sorry, a router, not a modem. That's all the man is going to do when he comes to the flat. Yet he has to do it in case I am incapable. In case I, don't have a job that involves the internet and don't know how to plug a cable into the back of a router. Moving on to content that's going on this week. The Forest with Sips has finished for now, but fear not, because Hat Films are going to come and do some gaming with me. So you should see that at the end of the week. It's going to be really fun. And if you guys really like it, let me know in the video comments on those videos and I'll definitely get them to do more. The same also applies with sips. If you'd like to see more sips, you can either let me know on the last sips video, which I think is number 9, or in the description of this video. Don't go and put it on the Hat Films one because that's just rude. Borderlands Episode 2 will be out tomorrow, which is the Tales from the Borderlands thing. It will be out, I think, at 7 AM because that's when the worldwide embargo that has been set by, I assume it's Telltale and 2K, because Telltale didn't used to do weird-ass early morning embargoes. They used to do them at 6:30 PM. There should be a video out at 7 AM, and then I'm going to try and do either another video or another 2 videos, so you might have 2 to 3 Borderlands videos tomorrow, and then the rest of the week. We've also had Owl Island, which is very quickly becoming Cat Island. It's only fair. Owl Island's been around for a while. It's time Cat Island rose from the ashes of the playlist. I think it's probably going to end up just being Dinosaur Island though instead, isn't it? Let's be honest, because if you put dinosaurs in a mod pack, everyone will want to do dinosaurs. I kind of like the idea of there's like a hobgoblin village in Witchery as well, I'll have to look into. But I do like the concept of dinosaurs. I think everyone likes dinosaurs, don't they? Although Nazi and I will hopefully not be silly enough to grow the largest dinosaur in the history of the world and try and put it in Stonehenge, because that's really going to keep it safe and not roaming around the server killing everyone. Last but not least, the live stream. So thank you to everyone who came and watched the disaster that was last week. If you missed it, there's 2 highlight videos on my channel. There's also the full thing on Yogs Live, although I would recommend not watching that because it's a bit slow. And the highlights kind of summarise the whole 2 hours quite well, I think. This week, it's going to be between 4 and 6 PM on Wednesday, and that's going to be on Yogscast, the same as last week. Yogscast is going to host it, so you can still watch it there if you want, but I won't be reading the chat there. I'll be reading the Yogscast chat. So if you are wanting to get actively involved in the community and chat to people, and maybe also provide important insight into what I've done wrong with my building, then you can go to Yogscast. The straw poll is in the video description below. Currently, City Skylines is winning by a hilarious 46% vote. Pretty sure you guys have turned this into Nalzi and Minesweeper, haven't you? I'm now forever stuck playing City Skylines, which I quite enjoy, but I'm awful at it. It does mean that this war of mine is not going to get some airtime. So I'm either going to have a think about where to fit it on the channel, because I still want to do that and people still want to see what happens. Purely because we've got Borderlands this week and I think Life is Strange the week after, but I might try and squeeze it in at the weekend, I'm not quite sure. But I do want to continue it, so don't worry, I've still got that save. I'm sure I've still got that save because it's a cloud save, and if I don't continue it on the channel, I'll continue it on the live stream next week when you guys are all bored of City Skylines. So yeah, that's all that. I think that's cool. I think that's good. Shall we look at the questions for today? Question 1 is from Mad Shepherd, who says, would you consider doing walkthroughs of the old Assassin's Creed, so like pre-revelations, during slow periods of the year when less interesting games are released? No, because that is an example of a game that has evolved dramatically since the first one. If you go back and play them, you will discover how hilariously clanky they are, the same as if you go back and try and play the Tomb Raider games. It's also a question of how much interest there is, because despite the fact that this is great and I love playing games and I love chatting to you guys, this is also my job. I do this to earn money as well. Part of that is playing, at least for my channel, is playing AAA titles or new releases. I'm not known for playing retro games. And okay, Assassin's Creed is not really a retro game, but it's not really a new game. So no, I would rather stick to the stuff that I know you guys will want to see that's new. And if you want to play those old games, go and play them yourselves. Or if you want to see them, there will be videos out there that someone's done, but I'm afraid it's not for me. Partially because I've played them, partially because they wouldn't get the view count that would keep my channel running. And yeah, and that's kind of it. Like, it's just not really worth. Sometimes you have to make that call of how much time is it worth of my recording and editing time, because you see a 20-minute video that could have taken, that could be footage that's an hour long. It won't be, it'll be like 30 minutes probably, edited down. So that's already an hour of your time, let's say theoretically, plus another maybe hour of editing if it's a complex video, or if it is an hour of footage. So that 20-minute video has skyrocketed to at least 2 hours of editing and recording, possibly. I mean, I'm going like extremes here. Maybe an hour and a half. It won't be just an hour. It won't take an hour of your time, because you'll be going back and tweaking things and cutting stuff out. I've just dropped my pen, but that's my own fault for holding it. And then you've got to count in rendering times, which can take up to an hour depending on what software you use. And then you've got upload time. So already you've got a 20-minute video that's gone from just being a 20-minute video to viewers that don't know the editing or recording or anything process, to being a 4 or maybe even 5 if your internet's shit, or maybe even 6 video, like 6 hours of time that's spent getting this video from me to you. So you have to take that into account in some places. So next question is from the Yog Watcher. Now, I did have a similar question to this a while back that I ended up not actually answering, and I answered the person in the comments, so I figured I may as well do one on camera to actually properly cover it. So this says, since you mentioned Dota, I want to use this opportunity as a fellow Dota 2 fan to ask you, which is your favourite hero from each attribution and faction? So to clarify that means, so you have the Radiant and the Dire. So the Radiant, I suppose you could say, are the good guys. They're all like nice nature and forests and happy things. And the Dire are all like burnt forests and death and really cross stuff. And then you've also got strength, agility and intelligence, you know, the triad of things. So I guess I'm going to have a look. I'm not allowed to use Jakiro, which is one of my favourites, but that does not stop me from getting a good list. So I'd probably say from the Radiant side of strength, which is the probably least played side for me, I'd probably have to go with something like Sven. The Dire strength is much easier. That would be Spirit Breaker, which is my go-to strength guy. For the agility, I'd probably have to go with Vengeful Spirit for the Radiant, because I played a lot of it in Hon. I think it's Andromeda, who's the equivalent. So I'd probably have to say her. I'm not a big fan, again, of agility. It's quite a hard one to sort of go with, mainly because they're all carries, and I'm not very good at carries, and that's why. So Venge is a bit of a, you can play her support or you can try and do carry. And I guess the same would apply to Venno. Again, it's a bit of an awkward one. I'm not a huge fan of, I'm seeing, now I look at it, I'm not a huge fan of the Dire agility and the Radiant strength for some reason. Then we get to intelligence and it's like, well, let's see. We've got the Radiant side, which has got Jakiro, it's got Rubik, it's got Wind Ranger, it's got Zeus, it's got Silencer, it's got like, all of those are incredibly fun heroes to play. And then on the Dire side, it would be Witch Doctor or Enigma or Lich. Or Bane, actually, maybe. So yeah, there you go. I hope that sort of helped. Those are my attribution and faction favourites. So thank you for asking. Unit 11 says, are there any upcoming Kim and Hannah major game series coming up? I really enjoyed Alien Isolation. I'd love to see another major game playthrough with you two. There aren't, just because there aren't any big games that we're actually that work. We've got a few smaller Fright Night things up our sleeve that we're planning. If you haven't seen Astray, which is on her channel, you should go and check it out. I think there's some Alien Isolation DLC later in the year. I'm not quite sure. We're keeping an eye on Outlast 2 as well. But there aren't really any like massive horror games. There's a few that we've got sort of planned that are older games or that are like DLCs or smaller indie games, but nothing really. Especially like this time of year, it's very quiet anyway. But it doesn't seem to be the year for horror this year. After last year. But apart from Silent Hills, we're keeping an eye on Silent Hills, but God knows when that's coming out as well. But when we can do them, we will. Otherwise, we're not really doing them. I'm sort of doing a few things with her. There's obviously like Cornerstone and stuff like that, but we're both just freakishly busy at the moment. Like me, she's also doing sports stuff to keep healthy and things. So once you get all that together, you're like, okay, so we can do a recording in like 3 weeks' time on a Tuesday. Is that all right? Yeah. Okay. Cool. 3 weeks' time then, and that's literally what happens. You end up doing this thing of like, I can play, for example, I don't know, I could play Outlast with you in like a month. How about that? And we'll just do like a load in a month, and then that will last us for like a month, and then we'll do it again. And you end up having this sort of, just depends on how busy you are. I think we're both sort of still recovering. I feel like I've not had any downtime. Last year, January and February, I could get through Advent. I could have a small rest after September, October, November, December of like double videos, sometimes triple. This year, it's been even worse in terms of the sheer level of games and amount of time I've had to put into doing videos. And worse is probably not the best term. It's been more intense, let's put it that way, because it wasn't horrible. I didn't dislike doing it. It was just quite busy and a little bit stressful. And I thought, oh yeah, January's here, great. And then it went, Life is Strange is here, and so is Game of Thrones, and so is Tales of the Borderlands. Oh, and City Skylines is here in March, and it's just sort of not calmed down in any way at all. So that's all the questions for today. I've noticed quite a lot of repeats, just whilst I'm thinking about it. Try and double check in previous videos, comments, and also the video that they haven't already been asked, especially if it's a very, I don't want to say basic, but very simple question like, are you going to be playing X game? The answer's probably yes, or I don't know. So have a little go at more complex questions if you guys want to get them read out, because the complex stuff always makes for more discussion versus yes. Yeah, just have a little think about that. Don't forget as well to vote using the straw poll in the video description for a game that you would like to see on Wednesday. It might be City Skylines. It might not be. If you don't want it to be City Skylines, you should vote now. And if it is City Skylines, then we're all screwed. Anyway, either way, I'll see you guys on Wednesday. Thank you very much for watching. Hope you enjoy the content this week. Bye-bye!